Why I think now is the best time to buy real estate. Hi, my name is Damon. Welcome to the Red Loves Real Estate YouTube channel, the home of Real Estate Damon, and the home base for real estate solutions and education. First, I'd like to say, if you're an all-cash home buyer, this does not pertain to you because you're in the minority. Most people are buying a home or getting a loan. They're getting some kind of financing. If you're an all-cash buyer, wait until the market dips and go ahead and buy your home. There you go. That's done. This particular is for the majority and people who they buy real estate with loans, okay? Leave your comments below. I'd like to know what you guys think about this. The good, bad, and the ugly. So let's get down to business. I know there will be naysayers, but understand that the math will trump an opinion every time. Let's say you buy a home for $300,000 this year and lock in one of these unbelievable 2.5% interest rates for a 30-year mortgage, which I've seen some people get 1.99%, but I won't go there. Okay, the market plummets. Your home now is worth $250,000 in a crash that happens in 2021. This means that if you put $30,000 or 10% down, by year 30, you will have put $384,000 into that home for buying it and everything, principal and interest. I can bet you my liver and kidneys that by then, your home will be worth more than $384,000. You can see, even if your home does go down in value for the next 5 years, you've literally locked in an interest rate that will probably be gone by that time. You're saying, yeah, it may be still here, but I'm gonna tell you why. All right, it will be gone. The bank's already talking about upping the cost of refinancing homes for people who already have a mortgage. Everyone's trying to take advantage of the low rates. I feel that this soon may be for purchases as well, because rates aren't really changing, but the cost to get these rates are changing. I got a client right now who's closing on a home. All right, he's shopping, he's waiting for the right rate, but I'm trying to tell him that if you can get between 2.5% and 3%, you're still winning. You know, don't try to walk over dollars to get the pennies, guys. That's not how real estate works. You know, if you're gonna keep the home for 30 years, you're absolutely sure, of course you wanna get the best possible interest rate, but you have to do the math. The math will not lie, it will not lead you astray, all right? So let's look at a different scenario. Let's look at the same scenario where you bought the home for cheap back when homes weren't as expensive. There wasn't a bidding war going on. So you got a home for $250,000 instead of $300,000. But here's the thing, you got a more practical interest rate of 4.5%, all right? Because I'm telling you, I just don't think that rates are gonna be 2.5% if the market tanks. And I'll tell you why here in a bit. I'll give you more information on why I believe that it won't be like that. With all that being said, guys, please like and share the video with your friends and family, especially people who are on the fence about buying a home during the COVID era. I know it's kind of shaking some people, but look, math doesn't lie, okay? You'll save them a whole lot of stress and time. So, and also show your support. Don't forget to subscribe, please. And if you like a more personal plan to achieve your real estate or business goals, check out my consulting options below in the link. So let's look at the numbers. You put down 10% on a $250,000 home, that's 25 grand. You finance $225,000, okay, on a 30-year mortgage. That comes out to a total of, wait for it, $410,000. Guess what? That's why understanding interest rates is so important, guys. If I didn't just buy a home, my wife and I in 2019, I would absolutely be shopping for a home now. Saving money on the front end of the deal and not saving on the back end, you're not really saving at all. Now, if you're one of those people who think that the housing market will crash so bad this time that houses are gonna go from $300,000 to $150,000, then by all means be conservative and buy when the market crashes. But if you're that conservative, you might wanna also play lotto. Don't get all your high hopes up about a $300,000 home. You're getting that for $150,000, not the average person. Maybe a savvy investor who does marketing, but I won't get into that. Okay, so at a time when single family homes are being built at the slowest rate in 30 years, right? Slowest rate of developing single family homes with a yard in 30 years. There is a scarcity in housing in every major city around the country. We have to consider supply and demand graphs will not change that much even if the unemployment rate goes up because of supply and demand. We have to throw in economics, guys. So the next time someone tells you you shouldn't buy a home during the COVID-19 era because of some upcoming real estate crash, make them make you a promise that you're going to be able to get that 2.5% interest rate when that crash comes, because I highly doubt it. Qualifying factors increase when a market tanks. But now, by no means am I saying to go out and buy a home if your economic situation isn't on point. Try to have 3 to 6 months in your bills in an account somewhere, or an account that you can liquidate before you go ahead and put a down payment on the house. That's just my advice on finances. But another thing to consider is that the worse the unemployment rate gets, also the harder it is going to be able to borrow money. Okay, lenders will scrutinize more. 25% less of people who would get approved for a mortgage today would get approved for a mortgage when the market crashes. Credit and income requirements will get a lot stiffer. So your credit score is gonna have to be higher. You're gonna have to make a lot more money. All right, for instance, you can get a decent mortgage with the credit score of 680. Highly unlikely to happen if the market crashes next year. What is likely to happen is you'll need a 700 plus to get a 4% mortgage. This is all speculation, okay? So don't let people who know little about the intricacies of real estate history and trends tell you that buying a house today is a bad idea, okay? I would say that buying an office building is a bad idea, right? Because a huge work from home movement that's going on during this COVID era. It's shaking America. This cuts the demand for office space, so there will be lots of supply. So it's simple supply and demand. Now, try to go to a bank right now and get a loan for an office complex. You'll hear crickets chirping, because this is the same principle as when the housing market tanks and everyone's foreclosing. You think the bank is going to give you a loan? No, you're gonna hear crickets chirping again. So that's the kind of advice you're getting from people saying, oh, buying a home right now is a bad idea. They're more concerned about your finances. Okay, their argument is, it depends on your finances. Ooh, you may lose your job next year. Yes, take that into consideration. But everyone else, you have to go by the math. Okay, you have to go by the math. Use a calculator to figure out your debt to income ratio, your reserves. And if you can afford it, buy a home now. You will probably never get this opportunity to do this in the next 30, 40 years, because the way things are going, it's just a great time to take advantage of an interest rate if you're not buying cash, okay? For example, if you lose your job today, right, the average worker can find another job within 6 months, or a stream of income within 6 months. This is where I get the 3 to 6 months income of your reserves and expenses to have that in an account, okay? Now, if I was working a job and I lost it, in 6 months, I'd have a real estate license, my appraiser's license, contractor's license to pick up an extra income stream. These are licenses that can be obtained within 90 days. So this is when people put this fear-mongering stuff in you and say, oh, the job market's crashing, no opportunities. No, there's no opportunities for the person that's waiting on an employer to call them and say, hey, I got a job for it, like that. Yes, if you're one of those people, be very afraid, all right? This new world that's coming up is not gonna be for you, all right? It's not set up for people like my dad, the baby boomers and that last cusp of Generation X. It's not really gonna be set up for that pension generation. It's going to be set up for this new generation, millennials, and Generation Z. But if you really want it, there's a whole lot of money to be made. Okay, there's a lot of money in this industries and other industries for that matter, all right? It won't be second grade math easy, but it's beyond doable. Now, thank you for watching. And as always, if we have the will together, we can build together. I'll see you in the next video.